Hi, this is Bob from W126parts.com, and today I'm going to be showing you what's involved in the SEC fog light and how to repair it and how to know when the one you have isn't going to be able to repair it and you're going to need to find another one. To begin with, what you need to do is you need to remove the fog light. To remove the fog light, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to find the small pin like this. It is attached to the back of your headlight. It doesn't matter if you have a European or a USA headlight, you're going to see that this is attached to it. You're going to pull it out from that headlight. Then you're going to feed this line all the way back through. It's going to go through the bumper all the way down to the bottom where this is attached by 3 different 8mm bolts. The 3 8mm bolts are going to hold this onto the bumper on the USA cars. On the USA cars, it's held onto a bracket. On the European cars, it's held onto a bumper. Some basic things: you have your glass. There is a left and a right, but there is no difference between European and the USA versions. On the back of it, you're going to have a cover. The cover is hinged. You're going to pull from the bottom up. It's going to expose the inner. The inner, you're going to have an inner cover, and on that, the rod goes down. You can pull this out, and then you're going to see that you have your light bulb. You have where it's grounded, and then you have where it's connected together. The light bulb itself looks like this. You never ever want to touch the glass with your fingers because the oil on your fingers will eventually make this explode because this is a halogen. But if you want to test it, you can put a positive end to right there and just tap a negative onto the side here and the light bulb should light up for you. So now going with this, I'm going to go through a couple basic things. Some parts are interchangeable between the left and the right, some aren't. I'll try to review which are and which are not. The first thing is, if your glass is broken, more than likely your reflector is going to be shot. To give you an example, you can see right here. What happens is the moisture gets in there, the moisture is going to sit on the bottom, it eventually works its way to the back, and once it does that, then this just becomes useless to you. So then this reflector wouldn't be any good. Now the housing still would be good, but nowhere sells separate reflectors right now. And then just to give you an idea, the reflector itself is not chrome, it's what they call a silver vapor. It's actually 30% brighter than chrome to throw out the light. So the first thing I like to do is I like to disassemble the entire mechanism, and I'll get right down to the plastic. Once I have just the plastic housing, it's very easy for me to clean it. I can use a scrub brush, I can use a toothbrush, I can put it under water, just because there's nothing left to it. Then I'm going to start going through the pieces and figuring out what's usable and what's not. The first part is, if you can see right here, these are your screws. There's one here and there would be one right up here. And they are what adjust your headlight up or down. So they're going to turn. And how that works is, on every reflector on the back of it, you're going to see that there are 2 connectors. These 2 connectors feed right into the screws. As you pull on it, it adjusts your headlight up and down. One of the things that do deteriorate are these small rubber pieces. These small rubber pieces hold into right here on your reflector. If these are gone, you're never going to get your reflector right because you will only have 2 mounting points and they will swivel in between them. Again, not a piece you can find, but with this, in desperation, I've told people that you can like wind up just like a whole bunch of tape and wad it in there, because all you're doing is you just want to make sure it's held right here. So to take the reflector out, what you're going to do is you're just going to undo these all the way, and eventually you'll just be able to pull the entire reflector out. These themselves are spring-loaded, so you'll notice that I can pull them back. If this small piece inside is ever corroded to the point where it won't hold on to this anymore, or it's just missing, you're not going to be able to do anything with it because you need this to be that spring loaded to move the light properly up and down. Once you take the reflector out, then you can take the wiring out. The wiring goes from the inside out, so you can pull it that way, and then these 2 will slip through this large hole in the side. On these, you just want to make sure that your your connector is good on the inside here. This is a small holder where the other piece slips inside. When that holder is put on correctly, it fits on this little stem right here, and this stem keeps it from touching anything else. So to give you an idea, this is on that stem, and that keeps this from touching any of this other metal, because remember, this is a live wire right here. So you need to make sure this is kept away from everything. So then you're gonna reassemble. You clean this off. You're gonna clean this. You're gonna make sure that this is operating correctly, that it makes it go up and down. Then you can do the rewiring. Once you do that, you're gonna end up something that looks like this. And as we can see from the back, this is centered. You got both the clips here to hold the wire in. Here's where the wire is gonna go. So now I'm gonna feed the wire from the outside in. And then you're gonna push the rubber until the rubber will seat in there. And you'll see it'll seat fairly easily. And then I'm gonna connect this end, goes around, and that's your ground. That grounds off to right there. And then this is what is going to hook up to here. And I want to put my hook up to here, and that's going to hold everything up so that it won't touch anything. So when I put the light in, and you're going to see that the light has a square part right here and a round part right here. And if you're looking inside of here, you'll see this side is square, this side is round. So it's only going to fit one way when you put it in. And it's going to go right down in there. It'll seat itself off. You can put both of the metal clips in. There's one. And of course it wants to be difficult. A little more line. There we go. And then this is going to come around here, plug right into here, so that all this right here is suspended, so it's not touching anything. Then we're going to get our case, and sometimes you got to make sure there's a small rubber piece that is inside of the case. If it's not there, you need to make sure you find it, because if you just put the case up, it's going to let moisture in. It says real clearly up top, put it in, you lock that down. Next, we'll turn it around this way. Now this one, I've painted the exterior silver. I just find that it makes it much more reflective. I'm going to take my next gasket. It's going to go right around the outside. And again, you can use either side. Just make sure you get them seated nice and in there, so you get a good seal with the glass. You want to make it as airtight as you possibly can. And of course, this one's being difficult because that's how it goes. And once you get that on, then you can put your glass on. Now your glass, the one side is still made, and the last time I looked, there's about 50 left in stock from Mercedes, but the other side, unfortunately, the driver's side is not. The passenger side is still made, but the driver's side is not made anymore. And of course, this gasket is just being difficult for me. So on this one, I am putting a new piece of glass in. of glass, which is just going to mount up here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to use these clips to put them back on. Now these clips and the headlight clips are the same. However, I have found over time that the headlight clips, if you could close up on this, the headlight clips tend to start expanding. So this one is slightly bigger than that one. If you put this one on to try to hold your glass on, what's going to happen is it won't mount securely. It'll move in here, not giving you a good seal. So you always want to check to make sure that these things are nice and strong. And as I said, I have found that the fog light ones are a little bit smaller, like they don't expand as much as the headlights. Maybe they all started out as the same size, and then over time, the headlight ones have expanded. And you know, each one of these should snap in place. You're going to see it, sometimes they only have like 2 or 3 of these, but there should be a total of 5. There should be 1, 2, and then the third one goes on the side where this cutout is. Then there's another cutout here for number 4. And then here, let me just show you what happens. If I try to put this one on there, it goes on really easy, versus if I try to put on the other one, it's gonna really crimp on the glass, and it'll get the glass to come in much more than this one would. And how I do it on these is I always go from the glass side in, because I'm putting all the pressure on the back. There you go. Now that one's not moving, so it's got a nice tight fit. So then we end up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 on that. And I think that's about it for the fog light. I hope this has been helpful. Again, I'm Bob with W126parts.com. If you need anything for your 126, feel free to give us a call. Thank you.